All right, welcome to the Coaching Hour Live. It's the first time I've done something like this. It's an open house for you to explore exactly what you would like to know about executive coaching and how it might be able to help you. I wanted to share with you a bit about my practice and see if it's a good fit for you. You can always follow up by going to lmichellesmith.com/coaching to learn more about NSC Coaching. NSC stands for No Silos Communications. And of course, we are a media and consulting company. And the media part is all of the content we create, the imprint that we have that publishes books, and also the Culture Soup podcast, which of course reaches 70 countries across the world, around the world, on nearly every continent. And I do understand that Antarctica does have internet. We're working on getting there, I guess. I'm not really sure. Anyway, we're everywhere. And then the consulting part of my business really is the coaching part. Do very little consulting, but there are companies that will call and ask for advice on certain things, and we will produce a product. But the coaching side of my business is executive and personal coaching, and it is certified credentialed executive and personal coaching, the kind of credentials that allow me to work with leaders from the Fortune 500. I specifically have been working more than any other group of people with the Fortune 100, many of them in that Fortune 10 range. And it's been amazing to see them grow and lead better. And of course, you're aware of my books. I am very much, I have a heart for women and women of color. That's what I specialize in, gender nuanced as well as culturally nuanced coaching. But I will support anyone, and I do have just about everyone in my international clientele. As for what range we're aiming for, we're looking for mid-career professionals. So that means that you have been working in your area for more than 10 years, preferably somewhere from 10, 15 years and on. And these are people who are aiming for senior executive leadership and C-suite leadership positions. And some of my clients actually are already in the C-suite, and they're looking to make other moves within the C-suite, whether at their own companies and beyond. So I see everybody from directors, senior directors, AVPs, EVPs, executive directors, VPs, senior vice presidents, executive vice presidents, and of course, any array of C-suite leaders that you can name. I have a chief content officer. I have a chief operations officer. I have a CEO. Yeah, it ranges, okay? But look, my coaching is based in applied positive psychology. I got my first credentials at the CAP Institute, coaching and applied positive psychology. And I have been studying neuroscience. So you'll see that I interject a lot about neuroscience, and we also build in some mindfulness practices too. But at the core of the practice is understanding that successful people are happy people. The happiness comes first. So you'll find that I dig into not just what people call your personal life, but also your professional life, because each one of those things impact the other. And we've got to get you to your happy before you can actually be successful. And that's what we learn as a core principle from positive psychology, that happy people are successful people, not the other way around. You can't go after success and expect to gain happiness. That's fleeting, it's not sustainable. And we're here to sustain the happiness and the success. So none of that chicken and egg stuff. We start with the happiness first, and then we get to the success. The other thing that you need to know is that many of my clients are history makers. Many of them are first in their industries. They are breaking boundaries, whether it's cultural, gender, or any other innovation. They are actually breaking boundaries and making history. And I'm very proud to be along with them on these journeys. What is the coaching like? So coaching isn't about advice giving, okay? That is one of the biggest myths about coaching. And not to say that there is other coaching out there that might lean into advice giving, but I am certified by the International Coaching Federation. And that means that's the largest governing body of coaches in the world. And we believe that coaching is a co-creative exploratory practice, which means that we build our practice around asking questions. Asking the right questions will get you further than just giving an answer. And while I do have more than 25 years in corporate and have been in leadership positions, made vice president before the age of 30, have been in the C-suite in my own company and actually advised the C-suite in Fortune 500 companies in my role as a strategic communicator, just me giving you the answers is not always going to motivate you to do what you need to do. And this gets back to positive psychology as well. Motivation is two different kinds. There's extrinsic motivation, there's intrinsic motivation, and that intrinsic motivation comes from you and it moves you further faster. Extrinsic is good, and that's if I were to share something that inspired you. You may be inspired to do something or not, or it just may not be sustainable. Those intrinsic motivations are aligned with your passions, which are aligned with your values, and that is the fuel that will give you the rocket and jet fuel to get you to your goals. And that's what we're looking for. So those questions are digging for answers within you. And if you can get to those answers from inside yourself, deeply rooted in your values, you'll go further faster. And we've seen it. We've seen at least half, maybe more of my clients get promoted, get that new job. And I will say, all of the clients who wanted promotions and wanted another job got it, okay? Because they did the work and because they reached deep down to find out what was standing in their way, and they did the planning and they did the execution to get where they needed to go. Now, I'm very keen on knowing that you don't just do it alone. And so many of the tenets of what we bring to the coaching comes from my books. So you're probably aware of No Thanks, 7 Ways to Say, I'll just include myself. That's the original edition. Second edition with 2/3 more content is called No Thanks, 7 Ways to Say, I'll just include myself, the remix. And of course we have the companion journal, Slay Every Day, 52 Weeks to Rockstar Leadership. These tools actually have many of the tenets that my executive coaching is grounded in. And one of the things that I really ask my clients to think about, and that is making sure that they have a tribe. And that's a group of people who are not just pouring into you and guiding you, but they're able to slam their fist on tables in order for doors to open on your behalf, put in their good name in front of yours in order to see you through doors that you probably can't even see sometimes. You need that advocacy. And you also need that group of people who are going to reinforce your value. And if you don't know your value, there's no way to articulate it or share with others what value you bring. So this is so very important. There's some very important tenets. So pick up the book, and often my clients either get it on their own or I send it to them so that they can see some of the practical learnings that go along with the coaching. So the other thing that we do is that we have a group coaching that happens once a month, and anybody who is a coaching client or a graduate can always come along and be a part of that ride. And it's a group coaching that allows us to work together to get to goals. And we look at things that are happening in society that may have us stuck or sad or fearful, or we look at things that are common, like productivity, like personal branding, like executive presence, maybe even listening to be a better leader. We look at concepts, big concepts like these, and we hack them together. And we find that these group sessions are even more of a value add to the one-on-one sessions that everyone's used to as well. The other thing is that you have free access to my library of digital tools, and have a lot of them. And it's called NSC Elearning, and I'm always adding to them. Some of those that are very, very popular are going to be the goal setting tool, the client goal setting tool. It allows you to apply the SMART paradigm to your goals and put an action plan together. There's the client wheel of life that helps with work-life integration. We have some others that tap into your intrinsic motivations to find those hidden treasures when it comes to your values and actually understand your why behind trying to get to a goal. These things are so important, but we have tool after tool after tool that we can use. And of course, I've amassed a library of digital content, whether it's videos, webcasts, master classes, even those little minute-long videos that you see on social media that are all accessible to my clients. I'm very happy to be doing this. This is my life's work. I've had people say to me, oh, it's just amazing how you have pivoted and really just changed your career. But when you really look at what I do and what I've done over the years, this is just me bringing every talent to bear, maybe in a slightly different way. But I blend strategic communications and leadership development to develop the most extraordinary leaders out there. And these companies, their cultures change when we send these leaders back into the trenches week after week. So listen, if you're interested in being a part of NSC Coaching, drop me a line. You can email me at lmichelle@lmichellesmith.com, or you can fill out the form at lmichellesmith.com/coaching. And I believe too, there are some links there to get on my calendar right away for a free strategy session. And I appreciate you being along for the ride. I'll see you online. Subscribe to my YouTube channel to get all of this content and more.